Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a three-game NBA slate for you. Before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel a lot. This slate does start at 8 o'clock today. We do have injuries for every team, which is pretty wild. But let's get into that here. So for the Trailblazers, we have Ayton, Brogdon, Sharp, Henderson, and Williams all out. Lots of injuries to Portland today. For the Grizzlies, Jackson Jr. is doubtful, Kennard is doubtful, Conchar is questionable. Morant, Bain, Smart, Pippen, Rose, and Clark are out. Then we're going to look at Denver here. Murray and Kentavious Caldwell Pope are questionable. For the Lakers, LeBron is questionable, and Wood, Vanderbilt, and Vincent are out. Then we'll look at Houston. Eason remains out. And for Phoenix, Eric Gordon is questionable. Bradley Beal is probable and likely to play. So keeping that in mind, we do have one core play for you today, and that is Reese for Portland with Ayton out yesterday. He had a really solid game in 23 minutes. I expect him to have a similar output today and a similar upside in the game. Hopefully, he can get closer to a double-double this time, though, without getting as many points. But he's been playing pretty well when he's given the opportunity. If we go back earlier in the season when he's getting 25, 30 minutes in some games, he was always over 20 or so fantasy points, and he has a pretty safe ceiling here in this game. So I do like his potential, especially with all the injuries to the Blazers. Looking at some other options, Jalen Green is interesting today. Now, he has not played well lately, but he finally had a big game yesterday against Phoenix, and I look for him to try to get a lot of shots again today, as there's not a lot of options for the Rockets. They're going younger here, and so they're playing their young guys more minutes, and he's one of them. In 3 games against Phoenix this season, he's averaging 38 fantasy points a game as well. Even though he has been a little bit shaky lately, he definitely draws some interesting upside because of his price being reduced quite a bit due to that recent play. They will look at Kamara for Portland. Now, Kamara has been an interesting player throughout the season as he has a very low floor, but he's been playing pretty well lately, and I think he's going to get in a 17 to 25 range today. The matchup is pretty good. He only had 21 minutes yesterday, but I do expect him to get a few more minutes because that game kind of got blown out. Portland actually blew out Memphis. I think this game will stay a little bit tighter today, and I think that he'll have a little bit more opportunity. He's averaged 17 fantasy points a game against them. He's a decent value play, but he is somewhat risky. But this slate is kind of rough, so you're going to have to take some chances on some cheaper options, and he's one of the safer ones. Looking at Fred VanVleet, Vleet has been kind of roughing it the last few weeks, but he finally has started to play a little bit better the last couple games with one off game against Oklahoma City. Otherwise, he's been playing pretty solid the last 4. And so I do like his potential in this one. His price has also come down some as a result. And he's averaging 35 fantasy points against Phoenix this season, which is right at where he needs. Um, then we're going to look at Anthony Davis here. Now, Anthony is probable today. Whether LeBron plays or not, Anthony will be in play as he's been playing very well lately. He's got a high floor right now. He's been over 47 fantasy points in 6 straight and 9 of the last 10. He also gets a pretty decent matchup against a team that he's done pretty well against, averaging almost 50 fantasy points a game against Denver this season. Though I do want him to get a double-double to really pay off, but he is definitely capable of that, as he's been getting quite a few of those lately. In fact, he's not missed one since near the beginning of last month, so in about 9 games in a row. So he has a really good opportunity here to have a solid game. And then last but not least, we'll look at Jordan Goodwin. Now, his price has come up a little bit more as he's been playing very well the last 4 games, as his minutes and starting position has been in play. Obviously, he missed some games in the middle there, but he has played pretty well when given the opportunity, and as long as he's in the starting lineup, he'll have a 30-minute game on tap here, and that gives him some utility. Though he's not a must-play because his price has come up a lot, he's still a decent play in a plus matchup. So overall, this slate is pretty rough. Honestly, some of these injury questions will definitely open up some value. So if we look at the Grizzlies, I mean, depending on if Jackson, Kennard, and Conchar play, that could open up Aldama, Jackson, Zaire Williams, and others. However, they all carry a lot of risk as they were pretty cheap yesterday and they're not as cheap today. Looking at Portland, obviously, with all the injuries there, Ayton, according to DraftKings, is doubtful, but he's actually out on the injury report. So that should open up some Simmons, Grant, and Kamara there some, but those guys a little bit pricey today. Looking at Denver, obviously Jamal Murray and Kentavious Caldwell Pope. If either one of those were to miss, that would definitely open up Jackson and Justin Holiday some. And then obviously for the Lakers, if LeBron was to miss, D'Angelo Russell and Reeves would get a boost, as would Hachimura and Taurean Prince. I would also look at Jackson Hayes a little bit, but if Davis were to miss, that would open up a lot more too. But I look for both those guys to likely play because LeBron's only, 7 points or 8 points from breaking 40,000. I think he's going to want to do that today. So looking at Houston, Eason is out, and that doesn't change too much as he's been out for a little while. And then for the Phoenix Suns, if Gordon were to miss, that would give a little bit more of a boost to Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, but Beal would need to miss to really make O'Neal and Grayson Allen to be good plays. So we'll have to wait and see about those things. But yeah, overall, the slate is small and it starts at 8 o'clock, so it's not going to have a whole lot to it. But it is a pretty simple slate. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And have a nice day, guys.